Okay people, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time, welcome to the channel. Unfortunately, this is not going to be a video, it's just going to be the audio of me for this set. We're going to take in a couple more cases that's going to move our goalpost along a little bit more. Okay, so the first incident is going to be the big flap. That's going to be 1952. We're also going to be doing the 1951 case of the Lubbock Lights. Both were covered by Project Blue Book. Like I said, there's going to be cases in here that's not going to be covered by Blue Book, but that's why we're setting a foundation, so you guys know that we had signed and Brothers now Blue Book, and we're going to go through a few of these.
Something is out here.
Oh gosh.
Newcastle, this is Andrews. I'm tracking multiple bogies over the Capitol. Have you seen this?
Copy, multiple and high speed. Returning high and fast. What are those?
Radar tech said Andrews tracked whatever those craft were at 7,000 miles an hour.
From July 19th to July 27th, authorities were inundated with reports of unexplained objects in the sky and extraterrestrial craft. The people observing these unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, weren't just ordinary citizens. Air traffic controllers and pilots were among the first to detect strange craft, and even stranger phenomena, ranging from weird white glows to orange balls of fire repeatedly over those few weeks. These events panicked everyone from local DC citizens all the way up to President Harry Truman, who called the Air Force to demand an explanation for what was occurring. Was Washington, D.C. truly experiencing an alien invasion? Perhaps it's a machine malfunction, you wonder. After all, there has to be some kind of reasonable explanation. Barnes insists that's impossible. Two controllers double-checked the Nugent's radar and found it to be in perfect working order. Furthermore, Barnes called yet another two controllers in a separate tower of the National Airport, who also saw 7 unidentified objects moving erratically on their screen. Or, as one of the controllers, Howard Coughlin, succinctly put it, "Did you see that? What in the hell was that?" Coughlin and his co-worker Joe Zacco, yeah, that's his real name, also report seeing an incredibly bright white light zoom away at top speed, not on the radar, with their own eyes. At that moment, Barnes suddenly stops talking, stunned. UFOs are multiplying all over the radar scope, converging over the White House and Capitol. There's a heightened sense of urgency as the UFOs approach high-value targets. Andrews Air Force Base, around 10 miles away from the National Airport, confirms that the strange objects have appeared on their radar as well. You call the base to hear that Airman William Brady also personally witnessed an object like an orange ball of fire with a tail that took off at unbelievable speed. Later in the night, you get confirmation that the balls of light are exactly what the radar is detecting. Capital Airlines pilot S.C. Pierman, waiting on the runway for permission to take off, spots what he believes to be a meteor, but then spots a series of white, tailless, fast-moving lights, 6 in total, over a 14-minute period. Those can't be meteors. He's in communication with Barnes, who confirms that the objects on radar correspond with the appearance and direction of the lights Pierman is seeing. Barnes sends you a tip, his last communication of the night. Well, earlier that night, 2 F-94 Starfire jet fighters deployed from Delaware to try to get a closer look at the phenomenon. The pilots flew all over DC searching for the lights, but it's all in vain. The creepy lights that have baffled the city have disappeared. Realizing they're running low on fuel, the pilots head unwillingly back to base, at which point the lights mysteriously reappear. Barnes's conclusion is at once logical and frightening. The UFOs were monitoring radio traffic and behaving accordingly. Ruppelt says that Air Force radar specialist Captain Roy James thought unusual weather conditions might have occurred. What kind of weather creates orange balls of fire streaking through the sky at lightning speeds, you wonder? Finally, perhaps they've finally figured out some sort of terrestrial explanation. Instead, the night's about to take an even stranger turn. At around 8:15 p.m., a pilot and a flight attendant on National Airlines flight in the air observed some strange lights above the plane. Within seconds, unidentified objects similar to those a week ago suddenly appeared on the radar screen at National Airport and Andrews Base. At the base, USAF Master Sergeant Charles E. Cummings frustratedly denies any theories by those around him that these might be natural phenomena. Later, to an inquiring press, he would state, "These lights did not have the characteristics of shooting stars. There was no trails. They traveled faster than any shooting star I have ever seen." It's now 9:30 p.m. and everyone's preparing for a night of chaos just like the Saturday before. The UFOs don't disappoint. The visuals on the radar screen are astounding. Unknown objects are showing up in every single sector of the screen. No one knows what to make of the situation. Sometimes the object travels slowly, other times they reverse course, and at times they move at speeds calculated to be up to 7,000 miles per hour. Since it's 1952, you don't know this yet, but that speed record won't be reached by humans until 2010, when NASA's X-43A scramjet hit speeds of Mach 9.6, just under 7,000 miles per hour. There is no man-made object in the world that can fly that fast in a world where I Love Lucy has just wrapped up its first season. In fact, sound itself only moves at 767 miles per hour. The Air Force decides to scramble two F-94 Starfire jet fighters one more time from Delaware. Captain John McHugo attempts to approach the radar blips but sees absolutely nothing. The other pilot, Lieutenant William Patterson, has better luck. While flying over Washington, Patterson identifies 4 white glows. He then starts to chase them, but eventually reaches his maximum speed and realizes he doesn't have a shot at catching up to the glowing UFOs. However, it appears he might not need to catch up to them after all, because suddenly Patterson looks around and realizes he is surrounded by the glows. He quickly informs ground control. "I see them now and they're all around me. What should I do?" You look around the room to see who's going to answer Patterson's command. After a few tense moments of everyone staring at each other, ground control responds with absolutely nothing. Because truly, no one on the ground has any idea what to do. A week after the original bizarre UFO sightings, the objects have come back. How is this possible? And why are they showing up on a Saturday again and again at the nation's capital? The situation has escalated to the point where it now has alarmed the President of the United States himself, Harry Truman. The entire US has caught UFO fever, and people are calling the events of the past couple weeks the Big Flap, because the 50s were a boring time for naming things. Ruppelt's best theory at the moment? A temperature inversion made radar signals bend and show irregularities on the screen. The inversion occurs when a layer of warm air forms in the lower atmosphere, trapping the cool air beneath. This can cause radar to bounce off this low layer and show objects that are near the ground as appearing high up in the sky instead. However, Ruppelt himself admits he has not yet interviewed any witnesses or investigated the security issue in depth. How can a temperature inversion explain several eyewitness accounts, including those of Air Force personnel, control tower employees, and pilots, which all corroborate each other as well as the blips on the radar? As a responsible journalist, you know you owe it to your readers to put forth another account of this weekend's events, as well as the possible explanation, even though it makes little sense. You decide to give your readers a little hope for a future explanation by including the fact that the CIA would be working alongside the Office of Scientific Intelligence and the Office of Current Intelligence to review the 2 weekends' events and monitor any future developments. On July 29th, Air Force Major General John Sanford, along with U.S. Air Force Director of Operations Roger Ramey, hold a press conference with representatives from almost every newspaper in the U.S. in attendance.
I'm here to discuss the so-called flying saucers. The Air Force interest in this problem has been due to our feeling of an obligation to identify and analyze to the best of our ability anything in the air that may have the possibility of threat or menace to the United States. In pursuit of this obligation, since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports that have come to us from all kinds of sources. Of this great mass of reports, we have been able adequately to explain the great bulk of them, explain them to our own satisfaction. We've been able to explain them as hoaxes, as erroneously identified friendly aircraft, as meteorological or electronic phenomena, or as light aberrations. However, there have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things. It is this group of observations that we now are attempting to resolve. Our basic difficulty in dealing with these is that there is no measurement of them that makes it possible for us to put them in any pattern that would be profitable for a deliberate, custom sort of analysis to take the next step. We have, as of date, come to only one firm conclusion with respect to this remaining percentage, and that is that it of relatively incredible things. It is this group of observations that we now are attempting to resolve. Our basic difficulty in dealing with these is that there is no measurement of them that makes it possible for us to put them in any pattern that would be profitable for a deliberate, custom sort of analysis to take the next step. We have, as of date, come to only one firm conclusion with respect to this remaining percentage, and that is that it does not contain any pattern of purpose or of consistency that we can relate with to any conceivable threat to the United States. We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any department of the United States.
August 25th, 1951 in Lubbock, Texas. In the middle of the evening, a lot of witnesses saw this. Some of the key witnesses were these professors at Texas Technical College, and they see this pattern of lights. It's like bluish green, and it's like in a boomerang formation going right over them silently. And they are astonished by what they see. There's no other way to put this. It just blew their mind.
The Lubbock case was unusual because of the caliber of the witnesses and their academic credentials, and I believe that's why the case remained so prominent in the files.
Fortunately, they were photographed by a young man named Carl Hart, who actually took a series of photographs that are very interesting and have been studied quite a lot by photo analysts and UFO researchers. Edward Ruppelt was brought into what was then called Project Grudge in 1951, and they come up with this explanation that these lights were birds, late at night getting reflection off the underside of their bellies by the types of street lights or the light that were in the city at the time.
The problem with that is that there were many observers and they had seen birds before. So the idea that those were simply a flock of birds really isn't a good explanation. It could have been under certain circumstances, but in that particular setting, it does not explain the data.
Unidentified aircraft in Lubbock airspace, please identify yourself.
Oh my God.
They say he crashed his truck. The thing is, if you saw his truck,
craziest thing I ever saw.
It just don't make no sense. Power went out right when it happened, all over town. Ask around. V-shaped lights flying faster than a meteor.
This blackout people been reporting, what do we know about that? Tied up our phone lines pretty good last night.
Last night?
Yeah, we've been traveling, we don't know anything about this. Mostly near the university. It's a regular ride on campus.
If you believe that you have seen these strange lights in the sky, please raise your hands.
This many witnesses.
Since 1947, there have been over 1,200 confirmed sightings of strange objects in the sky just in America.
General Valentine said he'd want to see this right away.
Donald Kehoe. You call it a massive government cover-up.
And that is why I do the work I do.
Folks, you can find the whole story on newsstands now.
I've solved the mystery of the Lubbock lights. Having seen the photograph, the answer is quite obvious to anyone familiar with the local avian fauna.
Plovers?
Well, you see, the oily white breast of the plover serves as a
a highly efficient reflective surface. So when a light shines on it from below, from the recently installed mercury vapor street lamps along Hollister Avenue, hitting a flock in flight, you get, voila, a V-shaped alien armada.
Hey, what the hell are you doing out here?
Dr. Alan Hynek, this is Captain Quinn. We work for the United States Air Force.
We had other men out here just last week doing like you are, right before the spaceships came.
Other men?
Commies, probably.
Oh, here we go.
You look like a commie to me.
Everyone go back to your homes. There's nothing to see here.
They're coming back. The flying saucers are coming back.
What the hell just happened?
What we're about to show you, you never saw. This is so far above your need to know, it might as well be on the moon. What you found in Texas was one of ours out of Randolph Air Force Base.
It's a top-secret military craft, unofficially known as the V-Wing. That's your UFO.
We need you to keep it out of the public eye.
Keep it out of the public eye. Roger that.
Top secret military craft? That is the cover story. You, of all people, should know it. There is no way that we
You know, you gotta be the dumbest smart person I've ever met.
Okay, people, that's where we're going to start. That's where I'm going to start the video at today. I appreciate you coming in. I know there's other places you can be watching other people do other things, but you're here checking out this video, and I greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys come back for part 5. I will see you next time.
What do you want?
We want to play.
Mark, I'm scared.
Don't be scared, they're just kids. Where are your parents?
We already played with our parents. Now we want to play with you.
Okay, I'm scared now too. That freaked me out.
What the fuck?
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.